So without further ado, I bring you the Asrock X300 versus the Atari VCS. Now a little bit of backstory on Atari VCS. It's an Indiegogo that launched in June of 2018, originally promised by 2019, delay after delay. Anywho, long story short, just after Christmas of 2020, all the backers finally received this project, and it was good to go.
Whole lot less than a
So as you can see
PlayStation
from my
5
clip
or an
here on
Xbox
YouTube,
One
I
X.
unboxed this thing and I was pretty
But
excited
it was
about it.
just as difficult to
You know, I
obtain one of these,
I
right?
waited
So
along
you got your
like I
little
said, delay
sticker
after delay,
here.
and finally receiving it, I
Alright.
was excited and
Let's
good to
see.
go. So as I
That's
opened it,
going.
it had a few
Alright.
small quirks that were kind of
The one
frustrating.
and only
You know, they were going off
Atari
of
VCS.
the old micro
The
USB
Valkyrie
technology rather
edition.
than USB-C. You know,
So
and
inside
that
you
was
have
kind
your
of frustrating.
Atari VCS.
Further
I'll
technology that
walk
kind
around
of
this real
limited
quick
it
so you
was,
can see what
you
it
know,
is.
that it was so locked down. The BIOS had a password on it that
So you
Atari
have a
won't
couple
reveal
of
to people.
USB 3.0 ports, looks like
Overall, it
HDMI,
does look
Ethernet,
sleek.
and
I
your
mean, it does
power,
have,
AC power.
good Wi-Fi, good
And on the front
ports.
you have
But
a
is it a
USB and a
competitor
USB.
console with the rest of
Kind
the
of
crew
cool.
that's out
I like
there?
that.
I think not. This thing is
Yeah. Alright.
far below
What
what
else is in this
the
box?
consoles will do out there.
Not much, I
In fact,
assume. Power cord,
perhaps a Raspberry Pi would be better suited.
HDMI,
But I
cheap
digress.
ones,
So
and
I
the
was
rest of the
excited to
power
receive the
cord.
VCS
That should
after
be it.
waiting for it for so long. And the pros
Yeah.
were that,
Yeah,
it was different
that's
from
it.
other
You
consoles,
don't want to eat
but
this
the
stuff.
cons far
Tastes bad.
outweighed the pros. So the SoC was built onto the board. You got subpar performance. Like I said, it was like a 5 year ago performance. It was a pain to upgrade or upgrade the RAM or upgrade the chips. So, it was just a pain. So I set out for something smaller, more powerful.
So this is
This
the
is my
Asrock
review of the
Desk
Desk
Mini
Mini X300,
X300
which I feel is a
unboxing,
huge
and at the same
competitor
time,
in this market because Atari has
this is what Atari should have done. This
commented
is
that
what the
their
VCS should
Atari
have been.
VCS is
Is
a
it should
mini
have been an open
PC
platform
or it's a
where
game
you could
console.
install your
Well,
own
this
operating
little mini
system that you
PC,
wanted to.
I have an
You
unboxing
could
video
have,
down below.
changed the RAM,
If you want to
and
get
you could
full
have
into
done
it,
all
it was made
these,
by Asrock. It's their second generation
effortlessly.
for the AMD APUs,
Meanwhile,
and they're just
Atari is working
amazing.
off of their
So
own
I had this
operating
idea.
system that's
I went to
even a
find a
couple years old.
Ryzen
It's dead.
AMD APU, but I couldn't find one. So I found this machine at Best Buy, and I was like, man, well, that has my Ryzen 7 4700G. That would power my system. So I found it on a deal at Best Buy for like $450, and it came with Windows 10 and everything else, and blah blah blah, and came with the storage that I needed. So I was like, this is what I'm gonna do: is I'm gonna go and buy this one from Best Buy, kind of cannibalize it, and um, put it in the X300. Because to buy a chip on eBay, on the black market, gray market, whatever you want to call it, from China, it was about $450. So I set out to get into this HP,
So how do you make this
and I
smaller?
got
Well,
into
you
it.
take this out.
Took out the
We're
APU,
gonna
which
take
sure
the
enough
processor.
was a
We're gonna take the
4700G.
Wi-Fi. We're gonna take the
Uh,
M2.
took out
And we're
any
gonna
other
move it
components that
over.
I needed and started
So
assembling
after you
them in
take out
the
these four little screws at the
X300.
back of the Desk Mini,
So this
you
is the
will be
simple setup of
confronted
the
with
X300.
basically a
Just
bare
throw in your
board
RAM, throw
where
in your
you
chip,
install your RAM
and it
and your
comes with
processor
Wi-Fi,
and
and
go
you're
forward
ready to
from there.
go.
And like I said, Atari could have done this
So these things are
and
little powerhouses,
been
and
better.
as you can see,
Just
it's a
installed
small
an
footprint,
APU so we had an
and that's what I was looking
upgradability
for.
option.
So after I have
So you
everything
throw
set up,
your
I have everything
M2.
under the board.
Below that
I
is
have
your
my
Wi-Fi that's provided. You put those
NVMe
things on
uh,
before you attach it, because if you don't, then it
M.2,
makes it for a mess.
and I'm ready to go. So
Asrock has
I
improved
have my
off of this
Wi-Fi
latest
antennas
one
attached, and
because they
so
made
I
the
begin
cords a little
to
bit longer where it at
install
least
operating
goes
systems on
around
this
your
thing.
CPU.
So
So that's good.
I
You got
put
the
a
CPU.
Windows
This 10
10
comes included
installation,
with your
but I also
box,
put a
so
Linux
that's part of it.
distribution on here
DDR4
because
3200
I'm sold on
RAM,
the fact that
and we're ready to
Atari
go.
should have gone Linux, but they should have worked with Steam to do this. So I put Ubuntu 20.04 because it has the latest drivers and um, the latest Python drivers that that Steam uses. And so just to show you, this is the Ryzen 4700G, and it is running in Ubuntu 20.04. This is what I think they should have gone with. You know, they could have given it a more colorful desktop that said Atari, woohoo, blah, 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 and gone forward with it. But they decided not to, and they decided to go with like Debian 8 or something to that effect, or Debian 9. And it's pretty unuser friendly. So this is what I think Atari should have done, is they should have gone with something like Ubuntu, had Steam start up from the beginning or something to that effect, as you can buy Atari collection inside of Steam, the entire collection that you get with your Atari VCS. So I was curious how games ran with this 4700G in the X300. So I went into some big explosion games, some Just Cause. And I mean, as you can see from Just Cause, so this is just beginning to boot up, and for running in Linux and running off an APU, I mean, this is pretty impressive. It was never meant to run in Linux. It thinks that the Linux box is actually a Windows machine, but I mean, kudos to Steam, kudos to AMD for being able to pull this one off, because I mean, just amazing performance at this little machine and through Steam. So I'll jump into some gameplay here and shut up so that you can see it. Didn't have any real issues with it, totally playable and amazing gameplay. So as you could see from this, it does think it's a Windows machine. But I digress. This is all running in Ubuntu 20.04. So I was curious on Batman Arkham Knight, being as though this one was multiple problems on any kind of GPUs on the Windows side. So I thought, hey, what can Linux do with this? And I was pleasantly surprised with the performance of this one as well, as it was totally playable, had all the downloadable content and all the options that I did with it on my Windows side.
Store and loot some costumes. It's him! Run!
So as you can see, I mean, even still pretty good content, and you can see it's just running at just below 1080p It's using all the video memory that's available, but I mean, amazing performance for this little box that doesn't have a dedicated GPU. So I'm going to switch out of this and switch over to Windows just to give you a little bit more rundown. I tried to run Fallout guys with this, but it had some anti-cheat coming up to where it wouldn't let me run it in Linux. So I'm going to switch over here to Windows and show you that side. So as this is booting up into Windows, this is totally what I think they should have done. They should have incorporated a Windows system, a Windows 10 system, just had Steam or something boot up with their own logo, Atari, you know, here we are, blah blah blah, and they should have had incorporation with Steam and with other manufacturers rather than just trying to go at it all by themselves. I get it that other manufacturers get a little bit of a cut of it, but if you can put out a better product by teaming up with different people, why not, right? So as you can see, I think that, you know, if you're using this as a gaming machine, then Steam should just automatically run, and if you choose to use it as a desktop, then you can exit out of Steam. But Fallout guys runs on this flawlessly. I'll jump ahead here so that step with all the loadings. But this is Fallout guys in full 1080p and it looks good. You'll see here, I mean, even with all the collisions, all the crazy amount of people that's in there, some 60 plus people that's in there, you still have good performance. This GPU, CPU combo is Windows definitely has better drivers performance when it comes to these things. This is running the Adrenaline beta drivers, but awesome performance. So just to show you, this is running Windows, and it's running Windows 10 on the Ryzen 4700G with 16 gigabytes of RAM, just so you know the system and you know what the chip is capable of. So what is a gaming system without sports gaming, right? So that's where Atari failed quite a bit. Is they're marketing their old sports games from the 70s and 80s. Well, if I want a modern console and they're going to market it as a modern console, then it has to play modern console games, and this just wasn't possible in the Atari. I mean, it was just lacking in everything. So I'm going to give you a rundown of Madden 21 as it performs on this AMD Ryzen. I mean, look at how smooth it is. Not dropping frames, totally playable, totally feasible.
I buy like 23. Won't fall again and I put that on me. Yeah, I feel the way my heart all on my sleeve. Yeah, that's why I had to put my wrist on freeze. Coming for the win, can't take another L. Designer on me this day.
Tonight, from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, it's the NFC Divisional Round Playoffs on EA Sports.
Who will punch the fourth and final ticket to the conference championship round? We'll know soon enough as we are underway here on a January afternoon. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other, control the defensive front linebackers, you're talking about a very long night for the defense, because someone's going to run for big yardage.
Brings up 2nd and 1.
To throw again on 2nd down. Breeze. Now the catch right side. This is Sanders. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh, so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the 6 moving.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. And Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, obviously still been pretty successful.
I give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, next man steps up and plays well, but that starts
with first one that's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. The return stops at the 39-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10.
And Brady and the Buccaneers here, 1st and 10 at a 39-yard line. Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And he'll take this up over the 40. About the 41. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
3. Brings up 2nd and
now Brady on the bootleg. Gronkowski got it on the crossing route. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. No catches for him in the wild card win last week, but he's got a first quarter grab here. And meanwhile, the throw by Brady knocked away, incomplete. Marjon Lattimore right there on the coverage. He was draped all over.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it, and oftentimes knock it away.
That's caught inside the 20, and he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. That one good for 37 yards.
We saw these guys have big plays in their wild card win last week, and they're certainly going to need to continue to put up plays like we just saw there if they have to continue to move on in these playoffs.
And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one. The 9-yard line. 2nd and 5 now. Brady. And it is incomplete here.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it, and so for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. Brady to his tight end right for the Tampa Bay. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Taking it in 2 yards out, and the Bucs have taken a first quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams,
on a Windows 10 system, and it's running Madden 21. So, I mean, your newest addition to Madden. And it's running at a 1080p, and it has our VSync on, and it has all kinds of other make it look great. The Atari can't accomplish this. This is where they failed. If you're marketing it as a modern console, then be able to run modern console games and be able to upgrade. And this X300 will also take the next version of the next APU that comes out from Ryzen, and all you have to do is put it in again, do a BIOS update, but there you have it, Madden 21, and like I said, looks good. My final thoughts on this are, if you're gonna buy a VCS, don't, hold off. It's just so locked down, and they don't want people touching the BIOS, has the password on it. this X300 is a better form factor, in my opinion, more upgradability, and really prepared for the future rather than that one. You can plug in a simple Xbox controller and it'll run both on Linux and on Windows. And those are my final thoughts. Like, subscribe to the channel. More content like this is coming